Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Unplugged Unfiltered. I am Brian Clements, and this afternoon, actually, we have an incredible, not only entrepreneur, not only business person, but friend joining us, and that is Adam Meyer of Redtail Roofing. Adam, thank you so much for joining us on Unplugged Unfiltered.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me.
So I want to talk because you have an incredible startup story, right? And if you guys have read the description, if you guys have, watched any of the preview kind of videos that I put up for this, Adam didn't start like a normal startup. You didn't start when you were 21. You didn't fail 3 times and then succeed the 4th. You had a lot of risk. You had a lot riding on you starting up that business, but you still jumped. You still took that leap. So give everyone a little bit of a backstory of who you are, what you do, and kind of how you got started.
Okay, yeah. So I grew up in small town Missouri. Went to college because that's what I thought I was supposed to do.
Yeah. College is great for everybody.
Yeah. No, it was a good time. Yeah. I learned so much.
Yeah,
Brian.
Yeah.
So much
about McCormick.
Yes. We were talking about McCormick.
Yeah.
Liquor.
Yes.
No, that was college for me.
Yeah.
It took a little extra time. Had a great time. Didn't have any idea what I wanted to do when I graduated. So I moved to Japan and lived overseas for around 4 years, including backpacking through Asia. And came back and still didn't have any idea what I wanted to do. And started doing what I moved overseas to avoid doing, which is I got into the corporate world for a while. I was a bartender, and then began my restaurant experience, which was great. You learn a lot. I think everyone should do it, at least at some point in any regards. You learn a lot about people. You learn a lot about service. You learn a lot about lots of things, sales, anything. But I got into the management side eventually and became a general manager eventually and tried to learn as much as I could through there.
Yeah.
Until I realized it was killing me. And then I had to get out, and I had a buddy who was in roofing.
Okay.
So he got involved in roofing sales. I didn't know anything about roofing sales, but I thought, okay, well, maybe we'll try that because I think I'm going to die early. So my wife was supportive. I made the jump. I got into that, learned as much as I could through roofing sales. Learned more than I was supposed to, probably. I don't know. Not that I wasn't supposed to, but I always try to learn more than I have put in front of me through any job. Yeah. And, I was very happy there. It was a great company. I really enjoyed it. But at a certain point, why most people leave companies is because of their boss. Yeah. And it wasn't the owners. The owners were great, but my direct manager. And it was finally enough that I started thinking, well, maybe I should just do this on my own because I think I can. And I don't want to be around that kind of individual anymore. So I took the leap.
Nice.
And at that point, I was early 40s. And I had a house and a stay-at-home wife, which was our goal. For my wife to stay at home, and 3 kids. And so, it was a little bit different.
That's a leap. I mean, and it's nerve-wracking. I mean, there's a lot of people, and I know we've have a lot of viewers, and I will say, and I think it's 100% because of you, but we have had our biggest registration ever. They all just needed to see Adam, and so
I'm sure I draw them from all over.
But we've had a massive registration for this, and so first off, I got to thank everyone from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, everyone who's watching. But there's a lot of people who are watching, and as I was going through the registrants, the people who registered specifically on LinkedIn, there's a lot of people there who are not in their 20s, right? They're working a corporate job. And I think that's honestly one of the big reasons why we've had a lot of people, because there's so many people who feel stuck. They feel like, you know what, I'm comfortable, like I'm supporting my family. Why should I take that leap? Right. And so what was it that really pushed you? And what were some of the biggest fears that you had when taking that leap to go out on your own? You know, was it finances? Was it trying to find the right employees? Was it your relationship stuff? Because being an entrepreneur, that always tends to put a lot of stress on most relationships. But what was it for you? What was one of your biggest fears when you decided to take that leap? I don't want to say late in life, but later than most startup founders, especially today's startup founders, right? You hear these 18-year-old tech founders and all of these, but
oh yeah,
what was your biggest fear that you had, that I would say 90% of the people who are listening have that exact same fear?
Well, honestly, at that point, it's just fear of failure.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems obvious probably to a lot of people, and a lot of people that are maybe natural born entrepreneurs or have done it multiple times. And, in a lot of these shows, when whatever you're listening to, I think that's one of the common themes is you hear, oh, I failed a million times.
Yeah.
And every way that's possible, I failed.
Yeah.
But when you're 40 something and you're in a corporate world, and that's what you've been surrounded with your whole life, and you're justifying it to yourself by, I guess, just knowing that there's kind of a cushion there, that there's, that this company, this giant company, has succeeded, and I'm part of that, and I that brings stability to my life.
Yeah.
And when you're afraid of stepping over that edge to instability, and you've never done it before, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, how do you justify that to your wife or your kids? You're like, oh, well, kids, maybe we'll lose the house,
but maybe we won't.
But maybe we won't. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Maybe we'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's all really hard.
Yeah. Did you come from a background of entrepreneurs? Because a lot of people that we've talked to on here, that we've had guests, their dads were entrepreneurs, their moms were entrepreneurs. They came from a family of entrepreneurs who really supported them taking that leap. Did you come from that background, or was that something that maybe wasn't as supported as we've seen in the past with our guest?
No, not at all. Like, I had no background in that whatsoever. Yeah. My family is amazing. I have an amazing mother and father, and my dad's one of my heroes.
Yeah.
He was a superintendent of schools, and worked in the education system, and just a great role model, but not in that way. It's not like I learned anything about that growing up.
Yeah.
So no, I had no background. There's a few people in the family, but no one I'm close to, I guess.
Yeah. So when you started Redtail Roofing, right, and you took that leap, you decided, when you started that, every entrepreneur goes, okay, I know I've made it when this happens, right? When you hit these milestones. I mean, it's something that, you jumped, and at some point your parachute, right, has opened. What was that parachute opening moment where you go, okay, I can now soar with this, where I can finally catch my breath and just enjoy the views? What was that first moment that you had set intentionally in your head? Because, for me, it's like, okay, let's get our first dealer that's paying monthly on trading. What was that for you? What was that kind of first milestone? And then we'll get to where you were your biggest, your most proud milestone. But what was that first milestone that you like, I have to do my first roof, or what was that? What was?
Well, I don't know. I guess I've never thought about it like that. But as you're talking, I try to think back of what it was, and probably the most memorable, which would also make it the biggest, was signing the first contract on the Redtail Roofing contract that I designed, because I designed everything.
Yeah.
But just, I guess, having somebody sign their name on that and say, yeah, I trust you, Adam. And it was somebody that I already had a relationship with.
Yeah.
So I didn't hide anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I've been in business for 10 years.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, this would be my first roof as myself.
Yeah.
And it was a very nice house, and it just a really nice customer and a nice person, and not somebody I knew personal for a long time, but somebody I'd done work with before. And they said, yeah, I want you versus your old company. Because I always made that offer. I said, you may have called me because of this, but hey, I don't work for that company anymore. Do you want to call them?
Yeah.
And they said, no, I want to talk to you.
Yeah. Well, and it's such a crazy feeling to get that first one, right?
Yeah.
That first one, I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, it's like you grind and you grind and you push and you build out the contracts and you build all this out, but it's not real until you get that first signature.
For sure.
And once you get that first signature, it's such for me, anytime that in any of the businesses that I've built, anytime that I've gotten my first customer, my first big sale, right, that validates and lights a fire under me. Not that I didn't have a fire, but it's a brand new fire. We're throwing kerosene on this fire, right? And it's such an exhilarating feeling. But again, I want to go back to that. People fear failure so much, right? And I guess I'm going to ask this question. Did your first contract come your first day, right, in business?
No, obviously not. No.
It takes time, right? And what were some of the things? And I'm gonna dig, because that's the perk of Unplugged Unfiltered, is I sent you talking points, but we haven't touched any of those talking points because that would be too much fun.
Yeah.
So what was, like, you got started, right? You got everything going, and that fear of failure. What was some of the things that you felt like you were starting to fail out before you signed your first contract?
I don't really know. The failure was the feeling of failure was maybe that light behind me, but I had a few practice runs in other things, as in changing careers, or doing something else, or moving to a foreign country, or doing whatever. So, there is adversity in your life, and as long as you kind of use that as a way to let you know that you can succeed, and then that fear of failure is there, but it's pushing you.
Absolutely.
Versus it always being in my mind. So I didn't really think, well, I'm scared of doing this one thing or another thing. It's just one foot in front of the other.
Absolutely.
And I believe that I can do this, and I know this needs to get done. So I'm going to do it the best way I know how to do it. I'm going to talk to other people and ask them how they did it. And I just keep moving with maybe a little tailwind of that failure pushing me along.
Did you always have that entrepreneurial drive? Did you think going through college, moving to Japan, that you were going to be your own boss? Was that something that you were like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to own my own company? Or was that something that came on later as you actually transitioned into building your own company?
No, man, it was always, I thought about it. I got my degree in business management. And I did finish my degree finally.
There you go. 7 years later.
Yeah. I know, close, maybe. But yeah, I had thought about it, and I thought, well, I would like to do this someday, but I don't know how serious I really was about it. I can't really say it. I kind of got pushed into it mentally, where it was always kind of back there. Man, it'd be cool to have my own business. Man, I hired people that I thought of way back in my early restaurant management days. My director of operations now, I thought, at that time when he worked for me in a restaurant and he was a teenager, I thought, man, if I ever start a business, I want this guy to work for me. And I've thought that about several people. Not a ton, but now he's my director of operations.
That's awesome.
How perfect is that? So that thought was always kind of rumbling around back there, but I don't know how serious I was about it.
Well, and I think that's something that everyone needs to understand is you're not necessarily born with this pure drive to build a business, right? You might go like, oh, this is cool, right? This is a thought. But when you watch, and no shame to Gary V, and I know that, I'll talk shit on Gary V, right? Who gives it? He's not that big of an influencer. But it's like that drive's there. It's always there. It's this burning passion. It's not always this burning passion. You don't know it all the time right off the bat. Like it sometimes it comes on early, sometimes it comes on late, and
sometimes you don't think about it. Sometimes it's a little tickle in your mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes you have a drive, but it's not the right timing.
Yeah. And you had to find that right timing. It took something to push you off of the verb. I can't speak words.
Yes.
It pushed you off of the ledge, right? That made you go, screw this. I'm done working for someone else. I'm done working for a managers. And Bob and I talked about this last week, right? 75% of people don't quit because of their job. They quit because of their manager. But they pushed you off that edge, and you're like, I'm going to jump. I'm going to trust that my parachute at some point is going to open, that I'm going to be successful in this. Now that takes us to the point that I think is very, very fascinating in your story, is your milestone, something that you are the most proud of with your company. And that includes your employees and includes some of the things that your employees get to have. Tell everyone what when you go, okay, I am successful. This was the point that you go, I am successful in this.
Man, I think it was having a Christmas party where we actually had employees.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning it was just me.
Yeah.
And then obviously my wife, who's great, she's helping with everything that she can.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know anything about roofing, but she can help organize, and she's very good at that sort of thing. But it was just us, and mostly me making all of the things happen that I didn't understand. But once we started hiring people, and it was all people that I knew and have worked with in the past.
Yeah.
So it was all people that I had personal connections with, and I felt very lucky about that. And then we had at that point we had a Christmas party, and you're like, man, these people that I know and I trust and I love and are awesome are relying on what I set up in the business that I began to improve their lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's and just seeing their significant others there. I mean, that was really cool. That was really neat for me.
Absolutely. Well, and it's really cool because not only, and this is part of your story, and I'm going to have you expand on this as we're kind of moving through it, but you have 5 base employees that have been with you basically from the get-go. Is that,
well, maybe not from the get-go, but pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Very, very strong relationships with those 5 employees. The other thing is you offer them a lot of benefits that not all companies offer. Tell me about that, because that from an entrepreneurial side, if I was a business, manager, if I was, looking at it and saying, hey, this is cool, but like you're giving up profit, you know, but you still do it. Why? So tell us about what you do for your employees. Tell us about kind of those 5 core employees. And then what you do for those employees and why you do it. Because in business, I mean, most business, right? We're here to make money.
Yeah.
But that's not what it's all about for you. So what drives you, or what made you kind of say, you know what, this is how I'm going to do business?
Man, I don't know why exactly I think that way, but these people are, they're amazing. Like that. They're allowing me to live a certain lifestyle, and I'm hopefully allowing them to live a certain lifestyle. And these are all, like I said, people that I have worked with in the past that I have very deep respect for. First, I hired my director of operations, who was the lead cook in a restaurant that I worked with. And then my head sales guy on my team at my previous roofing company. I didn't recruit him. He eventually got sick of it too. And then he called me and said, you want to talk about this? And I said, well, if you're leaving, you better come talk to me first. So, I mean, just amazing there. And then everybody else I had that had worked for me at one point. And so, I just feel so grateful that these people come to work and try to exemplify things in our company that are important to us as a team. And it's just a great team. And I just feel like they give up part of their lives. And that's always what I've felt like when I've worked for another company. I am giving up part of my life to make you successful.
Absolutely.
And for the most part in the corporate world, nobody cares.
They don't give a shit. They honestly don't give a shit.
You think they care.
Yeah.
But they don't
You're
care.
a number.
You're
a number that can be replaced. easily.
in a second.
Yeah.
And no matter how much you think they rely on you, the second you're gone, things keep moving.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they don't take a day to mourn the fact that you
can't.
Quit. They
No fault of their own.
No.
They can't. If they want to succeed, they have to keep moving.
Yeah.
And so for me, we are so close. Like there is no in between reports from my guys to me.
Yeah.
So I just want them to know that I care.
Yeah.
And I really do, because they are friends.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would anyway, even if they weren't.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, we are successful. I can tell,
Yeah.
I know you can look at the financials and tell that we are successful. Okay. So do I need all of that? No, I don't. Like, I know what I need.
Yeah.
And do I need to be a billionaire? Well, it'd be nice, but that's not the point, know? So if these people are coming along on this journey for me, so what can I provide to them that I feel like is very valuable to their family and can help them get ahead as well. And so I feel really, really good about that.
Well, and I think one of the things that by doing that creates such a culture inside of your business, because I mean, I met you because I had you do our roof. I mean, I saw your sign in one of my neighbor's signs. We had a big storm come through, tore up our roof really bad, it tore up a lot of things really bad in my house. But I saw that, and you were the first person I called because you were the first sign that I called, and you came out, and first off, I felt very comfortable having a conversation with me. You felt like I felt like you were going to take care of it no matter what it took. Like we gained instant rapport. And I think some of that is our personalities. We mesh really, really well. But the other part of it is that you actually care about your customers. You truly do give a shit. I mean, that is the reality of it. But on the backside of that is I was a little nervous once everything was done, and then you sent your crew out. It's like, okay, I know how Adam is, right? But what's his crew gonna? Because I owned a landscape company, right? My landscape company, as much as I tried to make sure that everybody on my crews maintained the same level of morals that I had, that's hard when you grow and when you expand. But when your crew got there, they were so respectful of everything. They treated everything with so much care. They were the most professional roofing crew that I've ever come in contact with. And they truly took the culture that you have built and portrayed that into the culture that they passed on to the customers. And I think that was something that was truly incredible. And then anytime that I see on Facebook, well, anybody know a roofer? Anybody know this? I'm like, I tag Redtail Roofing, Redtail Roofing, Redtail Roofing, because I know that who you are and the culture that you've built under Redtail Roofing is the exact same culture that your people express to all of your customers, even when you're not around. And I think that's incredible. And a lot of that I do think is because you show them that they're more than a number. They are a person. You want them to succeed. You want them to better themselves every single day. And I think it's truly incredible, especially because you were the one, and you are still the one, who takes all of the risk in this business.
Yeah.
Right. It's your finances, your livelihood are always still wrapped up in this, but you're always going to make sure that your people are taken care of. And I think that is the entrepreneur's story of stories, right? I can build a $50 billion business. That's cool. But what does the culture look like? And how are my people taken care of? You're flipping that script, right? And not saying that you don't want to build a $50 billion business.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But at the end of the day, I know that you would not build a $50 billion business if your employees were not taken care of the exact same way that they're taken care of today.
Yeah. It's, what do you want to do in this world?
Yeah.
Do you want to improve it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to suck everything you can get out of it?
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know. I don't know how to think about it, except for the fact that you're going to leave some kind of impression on this world. And once you're dead and gone.
Yeah.
Is it a better place that you are here or not?
Yeah.
And does that mean improving 5 other people's lives?
Yeah.
Or does that mean improving your life as much as you can, and then you're rich? Sure,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But
have a yacht. It's really nice.
That's cool. That was an awesome yacht. Had a great time. But 50,000 other people,
Yeah.
had some negative effect to their life for that. And what are you doing at that point?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's really cool because you talk about the 5 people, but what do the people behind those 5 people look like, right? It's not just 5 people.
You're right. Yeah.
It's how many people behind this. And this is something that I used to talk about all the time to dealers when I was doing dealership consulting. Is you're not just affecting your customers, right? You're affecting your community because your employees work in your community. And if you can build the right culture, you're not changing your customer base, you're changing your community base. And I think that that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs, and again, I'm not knocking anyone who has thousands of employees, right? There's a level of business, like you're providing thousands of employees paychecks to feed themselves, to feed their families, like not knocking that. But when you come down and when you break it down, especially as an entrepreneur, if you are so focused on being a leech and just sucking as much profit out of it, you're never going to survive, right? You'll survive for a 5-year, a 10-year, 15-year span, but you're never going to survive for very long because in the culture that we live in, trust is very hard to gain, but very easy to lose.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that you have put into your company, and you present that very strongly yourself, is you're a very trustworthy person, and every single thing that you said, your team backed up 100%. And that's, I think, very honorable. I think it's very incredible to see entrepreneurs be able to run like that. And I think that a lot of times is just built into an entrepreneur. I don't think it's something that you can necessarily learn right off the bat.
Well, it's a personal standard for yourself. I hold myself to a very high moral standard.
Yeah.
In you. So where do you go from there? I mean, how could I possibly do that and then screw over my customers?
Absolutely.
We're a referral based company. We're not going to grow as fast as the door knocking roofers that are out there. If you've had a storm recently, you've probably met them. They
if you live in the Kansas City metro, you've had that.
Yeah, that happens. And those companies are a lot bigger than us, and they're going to grow faster than us. I don't doubt that at all. But
are they going to be around as long? Right.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe they will.
Yeah.
But do I care? No, I don't.
No. Well, and it's interesting. So we had a comment on LinkedIn. So and I want to get your thoughts on this, right? Is when a founder struggles and has sleepless nights, all of the employees sleep fine without an issue. What does that comment mean to you? What does that speak to you? So when a founder struggles and has sleepless nights, all of the employees seem to sleep fine without any issues. Is that something that rings true to you? Is that something that you felt? And what does that comment mean?
I'd never really thought about that before. But that would feel great because there are sleepless nights.
Yeah.
And again, these people I do care about, they are coming to work for a company that I built from the ground up.
Yeah.
And man, I want them to sleep well. That's the whole point, isn't it? Like they're sleeping well while I deal with all the crap on the backside, and they don't see it. And maybe they, occasionally feel like, oh, you bought a truck for the company, or, he's got this or he's got that. And, not that I need very much, but we buy things sometimes because we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I want them to have those nights that, they don't have to worry about the company going under. They don't have to worry about the finances, or here's a huge check I got to write to an insurance company or the tax man or whoever. I don't want to share that stuff with them.
Yeah.
Because I want them to sleep well.
Yeah. Well, and as a founder, there's a lot of big tax checks that you have to write.
Man.
There's a lot of things that employees don't think about, right? They're like, oh, well, we're making millions of dollars and millions of dollars. Well, how many of the, say, $3 million, if you were to make $3 million, how many of that $3 million actually are profit? I mean, you've got shingles to buy, you've got ice and snow,
ice and water shield,
that thing that my insurance company still refuses to pay me for. But there's so many expenses, but you don't want that to pass on to your employees. You want them to feel comfortable. We just had another comment come in, and Adam, how do you determine if a new employee benefit is worth it?
Oh man, I don't know. There's probably much more technical ways to do it.
We don't care about technical.
We don't.
We're drinking tequila, having a conversation. Who gives a shit?
I go by feeling a lot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so what I've found out in running a business is profit margins, profit margins, profit margins, profit margins. You got to know the profit margins. And you have to know, that retail is different than home services, is different than, software is different than all of that. So you have to understand what your appropriate profit margins are within your industry, and then what you can sell at and what you're providing to your customers. Because what I'm providing to my customers, I feel like very strongly is worth more than what my competitors are providing to their customers. So you have to know what you're worth, and you have to know appropriate profit margins. And it's not a real hard calculation once you figure it out. Okay. So then once you're doing that, and you know what your overhead is, which is also something that's very important to an entrepreneur.
What's overhead? That's like height between a bridge and your vehicle.
Yeah, it's something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, look it up. But once you know what all that is, and you have your machine running to the capacity that you are doing that, and you are hitting the goals that you want, then at that point, you can decide what's appropriate for your particular company. And then what you can provide to your employees. So obviously profit margins are pretty good in home services, as long as you don't drop to bottom dollar all the time. And then you have the revenue, that is continuously increasing as you impress customers and you're getting more referrals and you're building your company up. So at that point, how much do I need personally in my life? And I think that's one of the major things, one of the major reasons I was able to do this comfortably after the age of 40 and never having done it before, is I knew what we need in our life. And I know how to live within my means, and I know what do I really need and is what's important in my life. And that's my family.
Absolutely.
Number one. And
well, that new Ferrari sitting in your driveway is really nice.
I'm
just kidding.
I'm
just kidding. No, but I mean, it's really cool. And we had another comment that came in earlier, and it's Adam's story is so relatable and relevant, and that is the truth to it, because you want to do things right. But I will say we live in a world where doing things right is not always profitable or rewarded, but you have shown that, if you do it right, if you stand on your morals, if you just treat customers with true care, like, you can be successful, right? You can.
You have to treat everybody with dignity, and you have to treat them like, is this your grandma? This is somebody's grandma.
Yeah.
This is somebody's mom.
I look like someone's grandma.
I mean, really think about it.
Absolutely.
Each one of our interactions, and what I tell my sales guys and my production team, is every interaction is, it's not important if you make the sale. That's great as a business. You will, if you're doing things right, you will make the sales, but every interaction, you should leave that person in a better place than when you showed up. And I don't care if that's like standing around and talking in the driveway for a little bit. Like, to me, that's a successful interaction. And maybe they'll forget about you after today, but maybe they'll remember, and maybe they'll refer you to somebody else. But tell the truth, treat people with dignity and respect, and hold yourself to a high moral standard. And as long as you understand profit margins
exactly.
and overhead and all of that, then, and that's easy it's not hard to learn.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out,
Absolutely.
but treating people right.
Yeah.
I just feel like you're going to be successful.
Yeah. So as we're kind of closing out this episode, what is one thing? So you're talking straight to a person who is, say, mid 30s, mid 40s, right? And they're like, I feel that I need to take a leap. I want to take that leap, but I'm so scared the parachute is not going to open. What is one thing that you would say to them directly?
I would say get your personal finances in line. The first step to being successful at business is being successful in your personal life.
Yeah.
And it is how I felt comfortable doing it. I think it was something, my journey started with writing a personal budget.
Yeah.
Like that. Maybe that sounds basic. Start there. Write a budget for your personal life. Sit down with your wife, or if you don't have a wife, sit down with whoever or yourself, and there's free software out there. That's what I did. I downloaded some free software and we wrote a personal budget, and then everything goes from there. Just get religious about putting in receipts and figuring out where your money goes. And from there, if you stick with that, you are naturally going to get out of debt.
Yeah.
Or at least limit your debt. I'm not saying, you don't have to do the Dave Ramsey plan.
Yeah.
Whatever. Figure out where your money's going.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Get your personal finances in line, because when it came time that we had an opportunity to do this, we felt comfortable to do it because we had figured out our finances. I knew what it took to run our lives.
Yeah.
Like my wife manages a household. She was the one that was on top of the budget.
Yeah.
So when it came time for that opportunity, you know what? She was like, do it.
Yeah.
My first words whenever I thought about it, when I came home and I just had enough, and I said, maybe we should do this on our own. And I wasn't real confident. I said, maybe. I don't know what you're going to say. Maybe we should do this on our own. And she said, do it. And I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Like that's some pressure. Like
it
wasn't hesitation. Okay. She was just like, do it, because we knew how we knew our own personal life.
Yeah.
Okay. So from that point on, everything gets a little easier. And and at that point you learn budgeting too, which is really important to your business. So you're taking one step at a time and putting yourself into a situation. It's going to take a little bit to learn it all.
Yeah.
But start with that.
Yeah.
I just can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
Figure out your personal finances and go from there.
Yeah. Well, and that, because once you figure out your personal finance, that removes a layer of stress that you have to deal with inside of the business, right? When your personal finances struggle, that makes your business struggle as well. But also knowing, like, here's my break even, right? On my personal finances, I'm going to go sell the shit out of some roofs to make sure that my personal finances don't have to struggle. So, I mean, it's what you have built in a business is so, it's so honorable, and I admire everything. I mean, since we've met, I've really enjoyed every conversation, every interaction that we've had. And this podcast is just the kind of cream of the cake. And I hope that at some point we can have you back on, because I think that we can expand into what does the processes look like? What do those things look like? But, we do have a deadline on our podcast tonight, but I have to thank you. This has been fun. It's been really, really enjoyable to have you on the podcast, and hopefully we can have you back another time to discuss more of what do processes look like, moving into starting that new business. What did that look like for you? So with that, well, Adam, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who watched, everyone who commented. Make sure that you definitely subscribe. If for some reason you missed part of this episode, it's all going to be on our YouTube, Unplugged Unfiltered, or you can go to unpluggedunfiltered.com. All of our episodes are live on our website as well. But Adam, thank you so much. And until next week, we we appreciate it. And if you ever need if you ever have any questions, if you ever have any business troubles that you're going through, send us a contact form on our Unplugged Unfiltered website. We answer every single contact form that comes through, and we would love to help and help you succeed in any way. And I will tell you that if it is something, if you are a young person trying to build a roofing company and you ask me that question, I'm going to say, I have no idea, but I know someone, and I'll ask Adam, and then I'll make sure that we get you responded to. So Adam, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your evening or night, depending on what time zone you're in. And from here, we will see you guys next week right here on Unplugged Unfiltered. Thanks, everybody.
Never disappoint, so we have coincidentally stumbled on a legendary. Wait until they see us now, waiting for the opportune time to show them this new power of mine. When words is where we landed, we're 2 rows and next to be commended. We're taking down all of those